So I was resting in my bed. It's been a long day. We've been rolling since 4 this morning. And I've been watching Marcus over here at Atlanta Street Interviews. And he has recently been following this lady named Queen Queeta. I am 100% convinced that at this stage in life, society will best be served if Queen Queeta, the menace to society Queeta, if the DEEBO of Glenwood Queeta was back in prison. It will be a great favor and service to the entire world. Let's talk about it. So, those of you who've been following Atlanta Street Interviews, Marcus, he goes around and interviews these people that are on the street, and quite often they're homeless. They have mental issues, drug issues, and Marcus pays for his interview, and they talk about their trauma. They talk about their history. Marcus asks probing questions that causes people to go to bring up some of their darkest, deepest memories that's been traumatizing them for the rest of their life. So anyway, Marcus lately's been doing this thing on Glenwood, and he's been interviewing people on Glenwood. So he interviewed this homeless, well, she stayed in a hotel, streetwalker, 403, all right, lady of the night, who had spent 8 years in prison, and she had been out of prison for 3 months, and she's selling her body, making her money on Glenwood. And when we first met this lady, Queen Queeta, she seemed almost as if she was a humble, kind of naive about the way the world works now. No tech savvy, no idea about the internet and how to make money on the internet. And you hear her story, 8 years in prison. She's been out for 3 months. She's living from hotel to hotel, trying to make her night, her room rate. And the compassionate part of me said, oh wow, that's, you want to help the person. You want them to succeed. You want them to come out and win. And not only did I feel that way, but there are several other people that felt that way too. And people contributed to her, sent her gifts, sent her money, watched her channel, so much to the point Marcus helped her get monetized. And after her first month of monetization, she reportedly made $1,500, $1,600. Don't quote me on the numbers, but it was definitely over 1,000. Then Marcus helped her get a fans only page, and she made a couple hundred on that. And it's like once she started making the money, the true Queeta started coming out. And that true Queeta is someone that's been institutionalized, someone that is, as she says, a real street B, hood B, unwilling to change. And that's the problem. She's not willing to change. She's comfortable in the lifestyle that she's living. She's comfortable walking the streets. She's comfortable being in the trap house. And we'll get to that in a minute. So people are rooting for her, trying to encourage her, hoping that she'll make a change, hoping that maybe, okay, she'll get a job, she'll fly right, but she's been institutionalized. She is so much caught up in the streets and the alcohol and the drugs that she doesn't want to let it go. But in spite of all that, you're kind of rooting for her, right? In spite of the head getting big, in spite of her talking to Marcus like he's trash, the man that introduced her to the internet and how to make this money on the internet, talking to him like he's nobody. It's all disrespectful and reckless in the mouth. But in spite of all that kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But what really rubbed me the wrong way was when Marcus spoke to Cam on Tonight. So Cam is another person that's part of that Glenwood street world. She has a job though. She's trying to do better. And there's places that she doesn't go, namely the crack house. All right. She may do some other stuff, but she says she don't do that and she doesn't go to the crack house. Now, here's where the story gets interesting, because a girl that was with Cam when Marcus interviewed Cam, in the back seat, a young lady who does go to the crack house, all right, Queeta, beat that girl down, according to several witnesses, Cam being one of them. All right, now there's another girl that came on there interview the other day who said that Queeta's passing out butt whoopings like cards, right? And then we saw Queeta jump out the car on little man. What's little man? Short Dog. Wow, I know all these names. Too much time on my hands, okay? It's entertaining, right? It is entertaining. It is like a drama, but it's real. But it's getting too real, because what offended me was Queeta beating up on that lady, didn't want to fight back, and Cam was saying that the only reason why Queeta beat this lady up is because this lady had said on the interview that, hey, if Queeta jumps my sister, I'm gonna jump in it. And I think there was a confrontation. Don't quote me on it, because I may have gotten it wrong. I'm not that invested. I'm not going back to take notes and all that stuff. Shout out to Granny. I'm not that level of investment in it. But allegedly, Queeta got into a confrontation with two sisters, and the one sister, the one that Queeta jumped on at the crack house, is not a fighter. But she said to some extent, I'm going to look out for my sister. And when they did have a confrontation, Queeta actually maced the girl that she jumped the other night at the crack house. Now, nobody likes a bully. I don't like a bully. Bullies get the bottom of my boot. And the vibe that Queeta is giving off is that she's a bully. She's going to run up and take your date. Any gal in Glenwood is her man, her boyfriend. And she's going to jump on somebody that the young lady was not even trying to fight back. So it's been reported. And Queeta's mad at something that she heard the lady say, as far as saying, hey, if you jump on my sister, I can't just let you jump on my sister. Now, Queeta's letting this little YouTube, whatever it is, go to her head. But more importantly, no rehabilitation, no desire to change. All right, no real desire to change. She talked all that in the beginning, but she's very comfortable and quite happy on the streets. Oh, she recently discovered the internet, right? Now she discovered the dating apps. And now she said, I don't have to go out. I can make my money just in the room because people come. No desire to get an honest job. Happy with the street life. Running up, DEEBOing people on the street. All right? And Queeta, what were you doing at the crack house? What were you doing at the trap house? You say you don't do that. You say you don't do the hard. I guess that's what they call it now. Why were you there? Respect to Cam, because Cam was saying, hey, there's certain places I don't go. And that's one of those places. Now, Queeta, does that mean you're going to jump on Cam because he's telling what you did to this other lady when you beat her down? Look, I'm not from the streets. Don't know nothing about the streets. I'm on the porch. I'm a square. All right. But I do know people like Queeta don't need to be free. People with that mentality like Queeta, they need to be locked up. And I was rooting for her. I really was. In the name of support and research, even paid for one of her channels to look at, to see what was going on. But for somebody that's a bully, for somebody that seems to not want to change, look, somebody says something you don't like, you can't put your hands on. That's that prison mentality. That's going to either get you locked up or get you killed out here. Now, people were saying that the lady that got jumped by Queeta needs to call the police. She can't call the police. She can't file no police report. She's going to go down to the precinct and say, yeah, I was assaulted while we were in the crack house. She can't do that. But we all know how the story ends for Queeta. And Queeta, if you're watching my little video, it's not that I'm hating on you. It's not that I'm a hater or I'm jealous of you or envious of you. But just the fact of reality. That prison mentality, you got to leave that back at the prison. You know, being a real, you always say, okay, I'm a real street bee. I'm a real street bee. No, you don't have to be a real street bee. You can be a real person. Get a job. A legitimate job. And I understand the YouTube money, the legitimate job money does not compare to the street money. I get it. But that street money only lasts so long. You're going to fool around, trick off with the wrong person. You may never see you again. You're going to fool around and run up on the wrong person at the wrong time. Never see you again. God has given you an excellent opportunity through Marcus. You got a little wave now, okay? People gonna get tired of you pretty soon. I mean, that's just the way it is. We watch and then we go on to the next person. And even with your TV shows, you know how it is. A song, it only lasts so long. Capitalize on this and move to a different, better life. And even if you're not ready to give up the streets, that prison way where you putting your hands on people because they say something you don't like, Y'all know what happened to DEEBO. So, Queeta, the DEEBO of Glenwood, all right, the menace to society, what you did was wrong. What goes around comes around. So, take it for what it's worth. I'd like to hear what y'all think. Those of you who have been supporting Queeta, as you all get to know her more online, as you see her personality change or her true personality come forward, are y'all still supporting her like y'all did before? Let me know in the comments. Do you think she can be rehabilitated? Or she's too far gone? She's too far institutionalized. She's too much washed up in the streets and it's a wrap. Let me know. Tell me what you think in the comments. The alcoholism, as well as drugs. And we ain't talking about no weed. There was another video where she was saying, I don't got no power. Right? So we all know what time it is. Marcus, Mr. Atlantic Street interview. I know it's all content for you, but what responsibility or what accountability do you have as far as being part of the creation of this monster? And to Marcus's defense, I think he's encouraging, I know he's encouraging, from what I see on camera, Queeta to go the right way. I understand that. And I heard him say, hey, you need to let the street stuff go. However, though, when the street jumps off, who's the first one with their camera saying back to the content? What responsibility do you have, sir? What responsibility does Marcus have if and when this thing crashes out completely? Which Queeta's gone. I mean, we all know where Queeta's headed. She's headed back to prison. Or she's headed to the graveyard. Because Queeta, here's the thing you gotta remember. Real street bees, they don't live long. Not long at all. So I know everybody's telling you get it together, and you don't really take to that kindly because you think people are trying to hate on you or people are jealous of you. It's not the case, dear. Not jealous of you at all. And look, Queeta, when you start telling these prison stories, you need to filter your prison stories because your prison stories are making you look like the jerk that you are. You're going to tell a prison story if you putting your bodily fluids on somebody. You're going to tell a prison story if you graping somebody. No, you keeping it too real. People want to hear prison stories of what happened to other people or what you watch other people do. Don't implicate yourself to being a horrible person that it seems like you are. That was just sickening, man. Anyway, thanks for listening to the old man vent. Like I said, man, I just saw that and it just did something to me because I remember that young lady. She was in the back seat on Cam's interview. And she looked like she wouldn't even hurt a fly. Cam said that the girl didn't even fight back. And here old big old He-Man DEEBO looking, mini DEEBO looking, stud looking Queeta beating up on this girl. Not right. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, whatever y'all do. Later.